because I can see the chat in the window here.
Just waiting. YouTube's sometimes a little slow, and I never get notifications, which is really weird.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like I don't get notifications when you go, and I'm subscribed, and I think I have that turned on for you. So I find myself just going in every now and then and looking at my subscriptions and seeing who's live, like manually looking. Um, and that's why
Gotcha.
sometimes I'm late. Well, I show us live.
Yep, we're live. We
We
are
are
live.
live. We'll see who comes in, but I can show you before we release the players. We've got team 1 and 2.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just change the names of these teams. What do you think?
Sure.
We can go modify team. We'll just put some placeholders there. We're going to go. I just called them the Bucks. I don't know why for Buck O'Neill. So we'll
There you
see a
go.
team Beatles, and then I'll go and upgrade this one to Team
There's
Steve.
there's Clinton Parks. He's saying that he doesn't get notifications for you or me. YouTube's like such a
I
mess.
don't either, Clinton. I find myself even for like Al Red Sox and that for the ones I subscribe to, the only one I get is Ron Junket over on Twitch. I'll get an email with Twitch telling me he's live over there, but I don't get anything. So I find myself going on manually and just looking throughout the day to see who's broadcasting. So we got a Team
Yeah.
Beatles and a
Hey.
Team Steve here, and
Boo. I mean, yay.
yay, we're here.
Hey,
Nice.
look at that. See that? You're one game from elimination. See, there we go.
I it does show you on top. So I think we'll give it a time, but I can show off some of the team that we've got here, right? Here's some pictures on Team O. Now these aren't teams already. We're going to release these and just do I'll call it like a sandlot draft, right? Just choose up 2 teams to place for
Sounds good.
Sunday. But
Throw the bat up in the air and
I've got
remember that?
55. Oh yeah, everybody putting the hands on the bat. We've got I've added a few. Well, I've added quite a bit since I've probably shared or talked. Like we've got Walter Kennedy here, Frank Warfield. Somebody mentioned him. I think got some decent pictures here on Team Two. I've got
Nice.
Cannonball, Dick Redding. You can see some of these Satchel Pages in the game. Barney Brown I added today. Double duty Ted Radcliffe, who can catch and pitch, is in there.
Oh, he's
Um,
awesome, Ted Radcliffe.
let's see, I've got Ray Brown, Bill Fox. So we've got some of the top pitchers to choose from and batters. And then over here we've added Hurley McNair, Dobie Moore is in there, Clint Thomas, Judd Wilson. So we've got some
I love the
Bill
names, man. Love the
Riggins,
names.
Quincy
Love the
Troop,
names.
and we've got all the notes.
Cool.
Here,
You know,
here's
some of these guys I don't even know, so
this is a
this is
great.
gonna be real
Here's what I
fun.
like. This is Heavy Johnson, a heavy player with a heavy bat,
Oh yeah.
unpolished fielder. Oh, there's a. Let me fix that right now. My typos. So good. We'll give it a little bit of time here, see if anybody shows up. It may just be
Oh,
the
that's
three of
cool.
us. Clinton's excited.
Yeah. Clinton, these aren't going to be, so we're just doing this for a test game on Sunday, but
Yep.
this game is all, we're going to redraft like down the line later this year when, we get whatever managers in and stuff like that. This is
Yes.
just strictly for a test.
Just for
Maybe to
some fun,
maybe,
a fun game to kick
right.
things off.
And then hopefully that, then the first step or the second step then will be put together an all-star game for some time for Black History Month. So,
Yeah, this is Sandlot. This will be a definite kind of a Sandlot testing out the player files and all that. Um, and while we wait, I guess I go ahead and walk through the steps of creating a draft. So we've got the 2 teams here. They reside either on Team Beatles or Team Steve now. So if we go up to um, organize, well, one reason, what's probably the best way to release the players? Beatles. I don't do this a lot.
Isn't
You could always go under rosters and hit
right?
release all players right
Right.
here.
There's isn't there, right, right. And then there's also I think it's under league or something. Release all players. Teams
Bam!
who are unorganized. Yep, there they go.
Let's see what
Uh-oh.
has happened there.
I'm noticing with this edition, while it's really good, I'm noticing a lot of runtime errors for stuff.
And sometimes if you get that, one of the great things you can do under utility here is clean
Mhm.
league
Clean the
folder.
file. Right.
Um, but let's take a look at what we got.
It's going to be school, I think, for everybody, Clinton. I think Steve is turning out to be obviously creating this file. He's knows already probably a lot more about Negro League baseball than any of us because he's getting it, doing all this deep research. So this is going to be fun.
Well, it's not letting me release all players. So here's one thing we could do.
Isn't there
Let's-
what's the one where you set like available that the menu where you do like all the availability and blah blah blah. Release players is on that menu, if you remember which one that is. Because yeah, I usually don't release players. I usually just create
Well,
leagues from
let's do this.
scratch.
Let's draft players, right?
Couldn't you cut?
Um,
Right, right. Because I
tools.
know it's in there. It's tools. Is it under tools maybe? The red the red button up there, the red
Well, I
menu,
do know we could create a blank league, two teams, okay,
and then just bring
and,
that in as a database.
and then just tell it, point it to what database we want to bring in, right? So
Right,
that
right,
may be
right.
a good thing to do. So it's probably the best way. In fact, I think I did that testing out some stuff. So we can
Okay,
always go to utilities, right? Create new draft league. Wow,
right.
there you go. I think we're just defaulting it to 1930, right? Kind of in the middle of the. That's what I was doing. Um, import teams from existing.
Yeah, this is something I do. Like what you're doing now is what I do a lot. I've never done a thing where I've released everybody.
Okay,
I've seen it though, release all players, but I can't remember. There's so many menu
one
choices.
league, one
Power controls
division,
possibility.
two teams, right? And we're going to import players from that same league.
Drop you a like here. That's important. There we go.
So we've got
And thank you, Clinton. Clinton dropping a like as well. Okay.
nice Negro leagues. That's where we're going to bring it in from. New folder is going to be called. We're going to call it the Negro League Sandlot
Yeah,
and
why not?
create league.
Killing me,
So
Smalls.
we've told it where we wanted to go bring. So it should bring the teams in, right? So let's
It
take a
should.
look at the teams roster. Should be blank. So we have, yep, they're blank. And then
Good.
if we go into the database, we should search free agents is one way you can do here. You can hit free agents over here and view all players. Hit refresh, and if we look down, there's 55. So it brought them all in. They're not assigned
Well
to a
done.
team, a free agent. So that's really the best way to do it. Create a clean draft league, and just if you want to use existing team names, tell it, and then you point it to whatever file to bring that pool of players in. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
Nice.
Cool. So now we can go set up the draft. So if we go to organize, well, let's go to draft first. Let's modify draft order. How many rounds are we going to do, Beatles? We're gonna. How big should these teams be? 20,
If
20
if we
something?
sure. I mean, I don't know that they. I don't think they ever. I'm not sure that they had like full 25 man rosters. I can't
Well, maybe
remember.
we go. There's probably with dead ball. What do you guys only have? Like six pitchers in some cases, and maybe.
Yeah, if that. We're anywhere from 22 to 25 man rosters on that. Not everybody's even a 25 man roster.
Well, how about we do 22,
Sure,
and we'll
it
do.
works.
We could do standard, and
Because these guys can play so many positions too, which
yep.
is nice. A lot of these guys, right? So you have, I think you have more flexibility here than doing a quote unquote major league. I mean, these guys are major league, so I've got to use quote
There we go.
unquote major league draft, right?
So here's what I'm
Yeah.
showing is you can set up, and it's pretty easy with us, right? I just kept clicking modify the order until it put you first, but you're going to have the first pick, 22 rounds. We don't need to
Okay.
loop it where, looping's good if you got a bunch of teams, but we can just go you pick, I pick, you pick, I pick, standard,
Yeah.
right? I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So let's
Hopefully get
take a
some more
look.
people in here. That'd be nice because the draft thing is fun. I should have had a keyboard hooked up and we all this, just make some ESPN music on the fly or
Yeah,
something.
you bet. And we can do
Too late for
ESPN
that
music.
now,
Da 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 da. Yeah, we can have
right?
draft night with a
I
bunch
think
of
for our
guests and
All
a big
Star
pomp
game,
and
I'll
circumstance.
go ahead and live stream like really quickly, just like a ragtime piece I've been writing that I'm gonna actually give to Ken Castro's walk up music for one of his for Billy
Well, it would be
Hamilton.
nice, but that's really cool to have some of that. And that's the other piece that I have not. Well, of course, I have all these fun projects we get into. Is that kind of music in the game? You know what I mean? Trying to find some little
Right.
clips like from the era, the 20s or 30s, and pretend it's walk-up music. It'd be kind of neat.
Oh, I think it'd be a lot of fun and find some ambient sounds and stuff like that.
So, folks,
So
we're just kind of killing a little time chatting. I mean, I've got the next hour and a half free here in my day to mess around, but we wanted to have just a fun draft. So we've gone in,
yeah,
created our league. We're ready to go. And now when we go to draft, we can modify the general managers. Let's do that and make sure that both are set to human, which they are. And if you had a bunch of teams and you wanted to just control one, you could, run it and have them all set to computer and then just select your team. And I know you're very familiar with this Beatles because you did
oh
that for
yeah,
your that Kofax league that you're dying
yep.
to get
I
going, right?
I just allowed all 10 managers to just pick, and
Yeah,
yeah, I'm really excited about it. The teams are that's why I'm gonna have like everybody not even seeing the players. I'm just gonna just pick a team name you like or whatever,
yeah.
and yeah, because they're so evenly matched, and with doing an entire decade and only 10 teams, you're gonna get pretty strong teams, but enough. But they're not gonna be like all Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
So
and
I
you
was
and
really
you let the
impressed.
computer do that, if I remember right,
It
didn't
did
you?
the whole thing.
Yep.
Yep. I
And
didn't pick any player.
and it found your positions. I mean, what I think is really good in the couple tests that I did when I was beta testing, and then I think when during one of my early live videos here where I was doing a tutorial, I was really impressed that it covered the positions, right? It's not like
Yeah.
they didn't draft it. You get 25 players and they didn't draft a catcher. No, it looks like they're trying to cover starts um, and positions started for the players, which is good. This is another cool thing. I've never messed with this, but if you wanted to set up your tendencies like a manager, you could come in here and if you've got 10 teams, if there's a team that maybe valued starting pitching more, you could crank this up, right? And if you
Oh
think
yeah.
about it, once you set these preferences, even though we're human controlled, if we put our preferences in here, that's going to help the computer suggest things to us. So that's
I
another
was
thing
gonna
to
say
think
that.
about
Yeah.
that. So do you
I
want
love
to
that computer suggest.
do you want
I
to
like
keep
it.
anything normal, or would you like the computer to be valuing any of these maybe above the other to help suggestions?
I want speed.
Okay, where do you want speed at? Kind of halfway up, high?
A little more, like a little over half.
How about
I
that?
mean, they
Okay,
it's a little bit more because they played a lot of small ball.
okay,
There you go. Yeah, it's more of a dead ball style of baseball, really. I
good.
mean, it's a good combination because you had
Yeah,
power and speed.
and this is something
You got
again I've
you
never
got to
messed
get the
with.
guys on, move them over, right?
You got to
Yeah.
keep them moving. Yeah, ability on the base pass. Um, Anything else you want to bump up? And you'll notice it doesn't say less. It's all at least normal, and all you're doing is sliding it up between normal towards the highest point to tweak it.
Right. 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 Hey, Aaron, let's just go with that. I just want to make sure I
Okay.
want to get some speed.
Me, I'm gonna probably a little power, maybe a little hit for average, and a little defense. I'm just enjoying kind of playing with these sliders because these sliders are really cool to
Right.
kind of help. And even though, right, some people would say if the general manager is going to draft for you, they can use these guidelines. But as we'll see when we draft, if you're not familiar, there's usually when you start to pick, there's a computer suggestion right there trying to tell you who they would go with. And I think
Right.
that's kind of a fun hint, right? It keeps you from being completely lost thinking, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. How am I going to choose?
Yeah.
So cool. So
Oh, and
we've
I'll be
got
using
that
that
set.
too. So.
Yeah.
Because once you move beyond the usual suspects, it's going to get a little tricky.
So now,
Beatles,
what else? We're good, right? We could go right in and start looking at players to draft. So
we're ready to rock.
we can go right to draft players. Again, we can look. We can go in here and search them alphabetically by any of these categories. And I've got all players, but Beatles let me know if we want to, if you want to look at batters, pitchers, whatever we need to do.
All right, I'm going to
Because
pop out chat so that way I can look at this full screen. There we go.
Beatles is on, look, it says on the clock.
On the clock. So I'll make my first pick. Uh,
Let me guess.
but you get right, exactly. So, yeah, Pop Lloyd.
So I
Supposedly
can
I
go
got to get him
scroll
on
over here.
my.
I'm just want to see what the computer suggests. The computer likes the old Cyclone Joe Williams, Smoky Joe Williams here.
Yeah, about it.
I'm having a little trouble here. Here, Pop Lloyd. So
There
there
we
he
go.
is.
You can just, yep,
And let's say continue draft, right? Because it's not going to let me draft him.
right.
So draft player. So now Beatles.
Oh, so you did your pick already,
You've got
right?
Lloyd. I have not done my pick.
Okay.
Um,
There he is. All right. I'm happy. I'm ready to play. Pop Lloyd, kick all your butts.
well, and I'm trying to figure out why I'm not up.
Hey, forever remain 90s in with us. And good evening to you, 8:20 p.m. Forever remain 90.
Let me go back in here and take a. What if maybe something?
No, you haven't. Forever remain 90. You haven't missed anything. Steve just quickly showed how to just reviewed again how to just set up a draft league. So, and we decided on a 22 round draft, and that's pretty much it. Melly Wrestling Geek saying hi, Steve.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure why it's not cycling to me here. Because if I go in round one, Team Beatles, let's modify the draft order, right? We should have pick one.
Well, what I did, Steve, if this would make it easier, what we did with McGreevy is like I just set it to manual draft, and everybody was assigned a random number, and we had that draft order, and we went through that way, and it worked.
Perfect.
It worked well.
Here
If
we
you go to
go.
manual draft, right there you go, and then just go to you,
So,
then
who?
draft who you want.
Yeah, who's going to suggest? Computer will suggest Joe
That's
Williams
not going to
here.
update the right. So it's not going to update that team snapshot. So just kind of ignore that unless you need to review. That's
And
all
I
I've
just
got.
took Oscar Charleston.
Oh,
So,
you bum. All right. All right. And then you would just go to manual draft and switch it back
yeah.
to me.
You want to see the computer suggest since we've put in your tendencies.
Um, actually, what I want to do before then is I want to get Cool Papa Bell.
You want to view
So I'll
him?
draft. I don't need to view Cool Papa Bell. Unless if you want to show him off to everybody, go ahead.
All
That's
right.
fine. But
I don't
I
have
only want
picture. I haven't merged the pictures yet over
like if
onto
anybody
this,
wanted to
but
use this, look at the stat line and stuff.
so
It
you are
will
going
pop
for
up
speed, and he's going to have the high stolen base in the file
exactly.
so far. So
Oh yeah,
you are doing that. So and he can play first and center field. So I
right.
think a
So Cool
draft is what
Papa
you're
Bell.
looking for. Okay.
I'll
And we
take
can
it.
look at a team snapshot. So we can go up here and click on Beatles so that if you wanted to see, as you get farther along, hey, how many games started do I have at positions? This is a great view right here for you to see. There's your 2 players so
Right.
far. Computer for me is going to suggest Joe Williams. It wants me to go with the pitcher.
Oh, you do a lot worse than Smokey Joe Williams. That's for sure.
But I can't
Cyclone Joe. That's what
pass
we want
up
to call him.
Josh Gibson. So I just took Josh Gibson.
You took Josh. All right.
And computer for you is going to suggesting a first baseman.
Is it? Yeah, I can remember. I have a little bit of a lag here, so I have to wait. Oh, I'll take Buck Leonard. He was called the Black Lou Gehrig. I would definitely take Buck Leonard.
And let's take a look at his player card. And there he is.
Definitely going to take Buck Leonard.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at that. He's got pop in the bat. And yeah, it's the black. So I have the black Hannes Wagner and the black Lou Gehrig now. So all good.
And we'll highlight your team so you can see who you picked. Now I'm up. Let's see. View and player. Oh, must specify. Let's get the computer suggesting. Man, they want me to take Joe Williams. And I don't know. No pitcher has been selected yet. That's interesting. If we want to look at the other thing, if you're drafting here and you want to look at positions, I can come down here and just say, hey, I want to look at starting pitchers.
What I like too along the top, you can, searching by stat too. So it's like, okay, I'm looking
Yep.
for some base stealers, some power hitters, whatever.
Yep.
This is
Got
such a
whip.
robust.
Yeah, it wants me to take Joe Williams because of that low whip there. What I'm going to do? I'm going to draft him.
Walter Johnson in our Ed McGreevy League has a whip of 844.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's crazy.
So I'm going to go back to the all players and refresh it, and then
Okay.
you can see what the computer is telling you. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Cannonball Dick Redding is what it's suggesting. Don't know if you're ready for a pitcher.
Yeah, actually I am. So could we look at his stat line?
You bet.
All right. This is fun.
And again, realize I'll have this fixed, but the fastball is kind of window dressing in the game, right? How far they throw and specialty pitch. I haven't updated those yet.
Do you have ERA plus on here yet?
I do, right down here. See it here at the bottom? Down at pitching reel at the bottom of the card, ERA plus.
There it is. I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, definitely going to take Cannonball Dick Redding.
Okay. Draft and player. Take a look at
Yes,
Team
please.
Beatles. Oh, now look at put your picture up in a different category so you can help visually
Yes.
chart that. And I would love to be able to expand this window that's in here and make it bigger. Maybe that's a suggestion I send to headquarters.
Yeah, I wish they would. We noticed that with the Ned McGreevy League. It's like, damn it, we want to make this window
Yeah.
larger and we can't.
Well, here's my team so far. And what's funny is, see, Charleston can pitch a little bit. Not a great pitcher. I think he's only got 6 games there, but he's going to show up on both. So now the computer is going to want me to take, Turkey Stearns.
Yeah, if you can't pass him up. You cannot pass up Turkey Stearns.
And I didn't. So now we're
Great
back over to Beatles. Pull your team up.
All right.
Computer's going to ask you. Computer's saying Ben Taylor, who's a pitcher and first baseman, but I don't know.
I went Ray Dandridge.
Oh, okay. View his card.
Somebody good bat there at the hot corner.
And he has 30 stolen bases, by the way.
Again, going for as much speed.
And he's
a little bit of power.
He can play short, and he's a 9 at third base. So
yeah.
Ray Dandridge, it is for Beatles. Nice.
I'm not sure yet. I know for the All-Star game that we're going to do in February for Ever Remain 90, we're going to use Comiskey.
Comiskey, that's where they used to play it, right?
That's where it was played. That's where they played the All-Star game every year.
Yeah.
They changed, so the Negro Leagues really came into their own when Rube Foster established the Negro National League, and you started to see more of a pattern that was closer to Major League Baseball at the time.
I'm just saying, typing in chat, hello everybody here. I'm
Yep, might as well.
glad
I've
to
been
see
looking
people
at the
showing
chat
up.
because I know you're driving here. So
So I'm trying to think. Well, I've got Stearns I can put in left. I've got a catcher. I don't have anybody in an infield position. Let's see what the computer's saying. Oh, first baseman, Buell Suttles. There we go. Let's get first base covered.
you're loading up a little bit more on power. I see. Like subtle,
I
not power.
and remember I bumped my power and average up a little bit to suggest,
Right. Right.
and you have gone with speed.
Going with speed.
Computer is suggesting for you just Ben Taylor. Hey, you can look at Ben Taylor's card.
Let's look.
Um,
Yeah. Let's view him and let's
well,
see.
okay, look at his average. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. He's a 343 hitter and he's a 9 at defense at first base. But you have Buck Leonard at first base, so
Yeah. So I mean, Ben Taylor.
he can't play anywhere else for you.
Right. He's not gonna. It's yeah.
There's
Ben
no
Taylor's not gonna
DH.
be. I mean, unless he survives, down a few
Nope.
rounds. But I'm gonna go. Let me see.
Do you want me to click on any of these position
I went
ratings?
to. Do you have Judy Johnson carded yet?
Oh, I do. I do. I see Beatles is going with players he's very familiar with and is fond of, is what I'm going to guess.
To right now. Yeah,
Ju-
stats are right
yeah.
now neutralized forever remain 90. Am I right, Steve?
The stats are, yeah, they're completely neutralized and have been converted over like they're playing in the 1930. Well, the team was set in 1930 nationally, but they're the year that they're assigned to, like let's say a player's assigned to 1923, they're neutralized and then they're converted over to be like they were playing in the National League for MLB that specific year. So when we put them in the game, there won't be any park effects, and they'll have been manipulated or converted. I don't. I'm losing words here over to that specific base year. So yeah, all that's been done. That's what's taking so damn long. Judy Johnson,
Wait, I already have a third baseman. I'm sorry. Wait
you
a minute.
do.
So,
Let's take a look at his. Yeah, and he's not that great
you
of
know
a
what? No, I'll
shortstop.
save you time. Let's go to if he survives. But I'm going to go with Heavy Johnson. I do need a little bit of power in my lineup, and Heavy Johnson has a little bit of pop too, along with Buck Leonard.
Heavy
So let's go
Johnson is
Heavy
a
Johnson.
365 hitter with 19 home runs, and he can play catcher and
Mhm.
each of the outfield positions in first base. So
Yeah. So I love the versatility
yeah,
here.
so you
He's
can put
maybe
him.
a
You've got
catcher.
Bell in center, so we're going to draft him,
Right.
and there we go. All right, see what I've got. I've got Suttles, I have no infield. So I can go over here to second base and look at rates. I got Frank Warfield, Martin Dihigo.
Hmm.
Mm,
Tough
Let
choices.
me view player Dihigo here. Dihigo can play about anywhere.
Right. Where's his highest rating though? What position?
Um,
Oh, he's got 3 sevens. He's
he's
got what
above
at
average or
first?
average at everything. Yeah, he's an 8 in center
Yeah.
field, but you can see he was pretty much put anywhere. I think I need a shortstop. Who have I got at shortstop I can play? Oh, I got Willie Wells.
That is a super. Well, Billy Wells is a
Willie Wells is
no-brainer.
on my team. I'm gonna take
There
him.
you
So
go.
here's your team.
Nice.
I notice you don't have a catcher.
Yeah, I do. I did. What's his name? Heavy Johnson can catch.
Very
See?
true. He can. He
Yeah.
he is rated at catcher.
And since you passed him up, I will take Martin Digo.
Hmm.
Uh huh.
Computer would suggest Bullet Rogan, but this is a one game. And
Oh.
we've already got our starting pitchers, right? But let's take
Yeah.
a look at where Rogan can play.
Would be nice to have a relief pitcher just in case
Rogan
things
can
don't go
play
our way.
outfield, relief pitcher, right? And he's batting over 318. But let's take
I'm still liking Diego.
okay. Let me go
I
down here
love
and
Bullet
find it.
Rogan too, Hall of Famer, but
You
gonna
got
go with
him.
Martin. All right, awesome.
So I could use a second baseman. How about a third baseman for me? Let me scroll this up. Third base rating. Judy Johnson's there.
Great
Oh,
player.
I like the Tank Car.
This is tough, isn't it?
Tank Car. The computer's going to want me to take it. You know why the computer thinks I'm drafting a team that's going to play more than one game? So it's going to want me to have other starting pitching, right?
Right. I think,
Um,
yeah.
man,
Who's your oh, so your starter is Smokey Joe Williams?
yeah. Judd
Uh,
Wilson can play third base for me. He can play all
So it's
over.
going to be Williams and Redding, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to take Judd Wilson.
Nice. All right. I have no idea who I have or what I need to pick yet as far
So
as
you got
position.
for you're missing a second baseman and a left fielder, and then any other catcher that you'd want besides Heavy.
Right. Um, and
The computer's gonna computer wants Bullet Rogan in there.
I know, but oh man, let me see.
And I can pull up left fielders by rating. So here I'm doing it by their
Can
fielding
we
rating.
do a second baseman? Um, second baseman as far as I just want to look at
Yeah,
second baseman in
and
terms of batting average
yeah, and I've got them
or
ranked as far as
OPS. I mean,
their fielding. I can click just second baseman if you want. So let's
yes,
go down
second
here.
baseman and then OPS.
Second baseman batting OPS, and then you're able to see their fielding numbers over here.
Right. See who has the
But
best OPS here. Um, wow. I guess we're gonna take our buddy. Um, oh, I'm gonna so I'm gonna take. Wait, is this just? Is so Bullet Rogan must also be rated at second because he's showing up here. Those primary positions, right field. I don't like playing guys out of position though.
yep, he's Bullet Rogan's rated for second base. Aside from pitcher, he's rated for second and all three outfield positions.
You know what? It's been yelling at me to take Bullet Rogan, so I'm going to take Bullet Rogan, and I think he'll be my second baseman.
You got it.
Thank you. Okay, so
Oh
not a bad
boy, what have I
OPS.
got? Yeah, I would love it if I could make this screen bigger so that as we get more players, I don't have
I
to
know,
scroll. But
right? I think
maybe,
we have our positions covered.
yeah. So I've got Wilson can play third for me. I've got a short. Maybe I need a second baseman. So like you, got this Newt Allen. Do I go with the
So,
higher batting average? Bingo DeMoss is a 10.
so yeah, Forever Remain 90. What we're drafting for today is just a one-off. We're going to do Sunday to test these two.
Yep. I've got
That's it.
55 players, and we thought we'd do kind of like a sandlot game, just choose up our teams just to test out the file and have some fun. And then we thought, hey, what better than to kind of play around here with the draft and hopefully entertain everybody today on a Thursday, right? As we go through picking all this good stuff.
Yeah, because it's just gonna be a test run. Then later on, then the next step in February will be create two all-star teams and really do it up big. And then later in the year when
Hmm.
Steve is ready, that's gonna be when the draft comes with I guess 8 team owners. So
I need somebody else in the outfield. So where have I got? Let me see somebody in right field. Oh, I've got Rap Dixon. Um, another guy that's I think I've already got center field covered, but I guess I could go up here and learn how to navigate better. We got Jelly Gardner out in center field. But who do I have? I could put Toriente. I think I'm going to take Cristobal Toriente.
good choice. Clinton's bringing up something really cool here because if you're familiar with that great the Bingo Traveling All Stars great movie about the Negro Leagues. So I took Billy D. Williams' character, and you took James Earl Jones.
Nice.
It's a great movie. If you guys ever want to check out, it's such a baseball classic. It's the Bingo Long Traveling All Stars and Motor Kings. Forgot that part of the
So
title.
if Heavy's going to play catcher, if he's not, you're going to need a catcher. Or if he is going to play catcher, you're going to probably need a left fielder.
Let me see. We have. I'm going to take.
And left
I have
field,
best.
here's
Go
kind
ahead.
of
I'm sorry.
left field. I just clicked on and ranked them by their fielding rating. I can
Okay.
searching by whatever.
I think I'm gonna have Heavy Johnson catch, and I think I'm gonna go. Oh man, this is hard. These guys are so good. I'm gonna have to go
Computer
because
wants you to.
I know bloody computer. I'm gonna go for Willard Brown because he's got higher steals, and his batting average is a bit better. I was trying to decide between Willard Brown and Sam
Yeah,
Bankhead, but I'm gonna take Willard Brown.
you got
Definitely.
it. You are going
Thank you.
speed. Two different approaches for our teams here for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
And you're setting this in 1930, so
yeah,
the pitchers are going to be. That's why I'm thinking it might not be a bad idea to have a second pitcher just in case
and
because
we can
this
set it
is
any year you
this is
want.
high offense, man. Oh no, I think 1930 will be a blast.
Yeah, we can set it in 30 for sure. And
If we
then
put it in 68, geez, if we would put it in 68, it would actually, I think, benefit me if I get guys on.
you
If
are
I get
probably
guys
right.
on.
So I've got some outfields. I really need somebody. Wilson can play third, so I really need a second baseman. So do I grab a? I'm going to grab Bingo DeMoss. I mean, I've got plenty of hitting. I want to have a quality fielder at second, so I'm going to take him.
Choice. Good
And
choice.
Beatles. The computer is going to say Rube Foster.
Let's see, what do I need? I've got first, second, third, and I think I have three fielders. Sure.
Yep, you have three fielders, so we can search for like a position fielding. You want OPS, you want speed. We can, if we do stolen bases, you'll see I've got it cycled by most stolen bases right there. If you want more speed,
Yeah, let's go with Rap Dixon. Since
okay,
my position players are filled, so you'll go with Rap Dixon. So I'm thinking pinch runners and things like that.
okay. Hmm. I got Josh Gibson. Do I need a backup catcher? Hmm. OPS. Oh, I got Quincy. Look at this, Quincy Troop, a 315 hitter with a 916 OPS. There's a catcher. We got John Beckwith. I think he can play multiple positions. John Beckwith can play. Yeah, he can even catch in a pinch. He plays first, third, and second. I think I'm going to grab Beckwith, just have his as a backup because now we're just filling the bench.
Could we look at? Oh wait, I think I can see it. Judy Johnson's got 18. I need more speed though.
And
Can't have
there,
enough speed.
next best speed guy, you got two guys. You got Warfield. We'll take a look at his card where he plays. He can
Yeah,
play infield positions, and he's batting 299. Or I forget, I got to leave this here for you. There's a little bit of a lag. Or you've got this guy, Tank Carr, George Tank Carr, who's a 305 hitter with some home run power, and
let's go with.
he can play catcher
It's just
first,
how many
third, or right.
schools? Oh, he has 25. So I'll take George Carr. I like George Carr. Go with him. I realize that I got Buck Leonard at first, but again, so much versatility. You could almost play this. I would do it as an All-Star game, but right, but because of the versatility here, so many switches that we can do.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy. It's almost like a 22-man roster on here would be like a 40-man roster on a major league team.
Yep.
I see who I'm going to pick next if you don't take them. So
I'm gonna
I already
take.
know.
I'm gonna take Hurley McNair just because I've got a nice backup to play outfield positions.
Awesome.
Computer's gonna
Gonna
say computer wants Rube Foster in your team, but you've got Redding, Dehigo, Rogan.
Yeah, I'm good with pitching. Could we look at Judy Johnson's card, please? I mean, here's a Hall of Famer that neither of us have even touched yet. So, and Judy
Yeah,
Johnson
he's
keeps popping up there, man.
321 hitter, and he's going to be a 9 at third. He can play short.
Yeah, yeah, I'll go with Judy Johnson. I can't leave Judy Johnson off my team. There's no way.
Yep. Computer's going to want me to take Rube Foster. Um, I don't really have any other. Yeah, I'm going to draft him just so I've got a couple extra pitchers just in case. Here's your team.
You got Charleston. Good pick to get Oscar Charleston.
This damn computer wants you to take Ben Taylor so damn bad, and you've already got a
I
good
know,
first
right?
baseman.
It's I know, but I'm so loaded there
And
now.
it's probably because look, his average is 343,
Mhm.
and his OPS is still up there pretty good, and he's a 9 at first. He's a good fielder.
All right, damn it. I'll listen to the computer and I'll take him anyhow. Is that the only position he's rated at as first though?
No, what's interesting, let's take a look at him, is he's
With Buck
first,
Leonard,
but
I'm
he can
really
pitch.
relying on Buck Leonard when he can pitch.
Yeah, so you want Ben Taylor?
Uh,
It's kind of
damn
redundant for.
it. I mean, because I have a couple guys that can play first. I have
Yes,
quite a few guys that can play first.
yeah,
So really, Ben Taylor's not. No, sorry, Ben.
and you're
You
really going to
suck
stick with
because
Heavy being your only catcher.
no. I think it's always good to have a backup catcher. Do I want Santop, Quincy
Well,
Troop?
Santop is pretty decent because he's got a strong arm. Let's see him. He's a 330 hitter, and he's a
Yeah,
6 at
Santop
catcher
will
with
be
a 9 arm.
Yeah, I'll take it because you're gonna have some speed in your team, whether you like it or not. So
He
I'll
threw
take
Ty Cobb
Santop.
3 times, out 3 times, by the way.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's if you can nail Cobb, got it. Late innings, things like that. He could come in late innings.
Bill
Forever
Foster.
remain 90s like he's thinking this should be a best of five.
Hey, who knows it? Hey, we might want to draft maybe, make sure we got 3 or 4 decent pitchers in case we decide to do a 2 out of 3 out of that for sure. We may have so much fun with that Beatles that
Right,
the audience and us might be like, do we play a couple more?
right, right. Hopefully not. Hopefully this will be fun to pull some people away from the F-ball playoffs or whatever, if that's still going on. I have
Yes,
no idea. All
Walter
I know is we're getting
Kennedy.
getting close to pitchers and catchers report, like 3 weeks, I
Let
think,
me
or
see what kind of
4 weeks.
speed. I don't have the same kind of speed you do.
Mm. Oh,
But Frank Warfield, maybe I want him on there for a pinch runner and a backup. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Frank Warfield just to have him on the bench. Back over to Team Beatles. And do you want me?
um,
Does it help to scroll to the most recent ones you've picked? Since we don't get to see that full list.
I only have. Oh, do I? Okay, no, I have one left fielder, don't I? Can Pete Hill play left? If you could see, please.
He can. He can play left, center, or right.
I'll see you rated though.
He's a 6 in left. Um, let's look at left
Okay. He's a
fielders.
six and left and right. He's a
You've
six
got
and left
you've
and
got
right.
Sam Bankhead that can play a bunch of positions, and Clint Thomas who are rated higher in left than Pete
Right.
Hill, if that means anything. And they both bat 307, and Pete Hill bats 318.
I like. Um. You know what? So you said Clint Thomas can play left because I like his stolen base total.
Oh yeah, yep, yep, yep. So
He was
here's
caught stealing 13 times, but
here he is. He's an 8 in left, 8 in center, 7 in right. He
I'll
can even
take
play
Clint
second
Thomas.
base.
Definitely take Clint Thomas. I think I only have one guy with. I think Buck Leonard and Heavy Johnson are like my two feet, are like power hitters. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, let's take a look at any home run power right here. Slugging percentage, I guess.
Right.
Dobie Moore, great shortstop. Roy Parnell.
Canada's got a have 11 slugging percentage, and Toby Moore
I think I'm
508.
going to take Roy Parnell.
Take Parnell.
Here's Beatles, and I think might be picking me. I need. You notice you've only got three pitchers. I mean, they're both good. Dehigo can pitch too. Um, I might grab me
Yeah.
an extra pitcher.
I'm gonna pick. Yeah, when it's my turn, I'm gonna pick up a pitcher.
And it's your turn.
Satch Page.
Oh,
Hey, if it goes, if
let's
we
display
go best of
pitching.
three, buddy, I
Let's
got to get old
display
Satch.
pitching. And there he is. I completely forgot about him. So there's Satchel
You
Paige
know,
right here.
that's why I didn't like mention his name like at all. I mean, the man used to call his outfield in,
Yeah.
like strike out the side. Yeah, I'll take old Satch.
Let me see. What other whip have I got? Ray
I don't know if there's an
Brown.
old Satch equivalent on that film that Clinton on Big O, the Big O long, right?
Computer wants me
It's
to
called the
take
Big
Ben
O film.
Taylor.
The computer just wants Ben Taylor on a team.
You ain't lying. I think throws left. Let me see what kind of lefty throwers. So I've got Leroy Matlock, Barney Brown. I think I'm going to take Barney Brown. So I've got a left-handed. Oh, I got Bill Foster. I'm going to take Bill Foster. There we go. Back to Team Beatles.
Yeah, let's see what I have up there. So let's see for pitchers. I got Page, Redding, and Diego.
Yeah, and if we're looking at other pitchers by whip, I mean, some of these are just. I mean, you can see it's kind of by whip what's left out there, and then if you want to look at lefty or righty, I can.
I don't know if I want another pitcher though. I mean, only well, I mean, like so. Diego can play all over the place. Rogan. I mean, I have like two pitchers, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, look at the game started. You've got or total games. You've got Rogan
Right.
pitched 39 games, 42 Page 47. Even
Yeah, I'm
Dehigo pitched
fine
in
with
19
pitching.
games.
I think I think famous
Okay,
last words. So I'll look at hitters. Um,
how do you want to search them?
you can search for
OPS,
power. I wouldn't mind having one more power hitter.
slugging. They're probably
No, we're
highest
getting
slugging.
down to
Canada
um,
had 13 homers. Quincy Troop, a catcher at 14.
it's George Scales. George Scales, 312 hitter with 14 home runs. I'll go with George Scales.
All right, Scales it is. Oh my gosh, the computer's like, you need Ben Taylor. Well, maybe I do need Ben Taylor because he's a lefty, so I'm just going to draft him,
There you go.
get rid of him. So for you, saying it wants you to get Jose Mendez, it wants you to have another pitcher.
If this was like for a long haul season, Jose Mendez would have definitely been a pick for me. But
And I've got it
um,
organized by slugging percentage too.
how many shortstops? Do I have two shortstops?
Yeah,
And
you've
Pop
got,
Lloyd is going to be my starter.
yep.
But in case he gets injured, but then, you know what? I can move Diego anywhere.
And
Damn
you've
it!
got, don't forget Brown, who's your left fielder
Right,
out there. He also has some shortstop games in a pinch.
right. Trying to see here. Well, I really wish Dave could make this screen. And I'm looking at this at a pretty large monitor. Is it second? No, I'm good at second. Damn it. Um, I'm just always because we are. I'm assuming we're gonna have injuries turned on for this thing.
We might as well
Right.
for the one. Yeah, we're going to play one
Right.
game. Might as well make it fun, right? Realistic, where they could get hurt.
You know what? I'm gonna get one more bona fide, like primarily rated left fielder. So I'll go with Sam Bankhead.
And here's his card. It's pretty good. I think he's going to play multiple. 307 hitter. And yeah, he can play second, third, short, left, and center. Pretty these
Uh,
players. That's a one fun thing. It for
love
me
it.
has been the versatility that these players have. It wants me to have
Jose Mendez. Is he
Jose
strictly a
Mendez.
pitcher, Steve? Is Mendez strictly a pitcher?
It's fewest player. No, he can play third, short, center, and right.
These guys are
So
gonna. These
I'm
guys
gonna
are gonna.
take him.
This is gonna be fun putting them against the.
Sandlot.
Oh my God! When we put these. So what was it was Big Clue that said these guys could stand up to any of the weight major league teams, and
Yeah.
I totally agree. This
Oh
is
yeah.
insane. And in fact, they do have. There were some stats. I guess they were right with all the research, and and some people argued, well, the white teams weren't really playing as hard, but the Negro League teams would consistently beat. I think it was out of 400 and some games played. The Negro Leagues won almost 300 of those 400 games.
I'm pulling up your.
I know, stupid prejudice, and these guys, how different baseball would be, right? If they could have played. I think at least a third of the people we have in the Baseball Hall of Fame right now wouldn't be in the Baseball Hall of Fame if these men could have played. I know there's quite a few, Negro League players in there, but right, cool.
Suggesting a pitcher, William Bell, for you.
Do we have anybody with any decent OPS left? Gonna
Quincy Troop,
need
a
him.
catcher, and then right behind him would be Walter Kennedy, who can play every position in the infield.
Um, I want Quincy Troop because since I'm going with speed, I need some average too, and he's got, I'm looking at straight up batting average too, and he's a 315. So I want to go with that little bit of percentage. So Quincy Troop, please.
Okay.
All right.
Beatles drafts him over to me. Um, I have plenty of people that can pitch. I don't have any kind of a back. Well, I got Beckwith that can backup catcher. Let's see
Oh, I
here.
see somebody that, although his average is low, but he was a time Negro League player. Oh, neither of us picked Biz Mackey. I
No,
see
we
him
got
out there.
Bismacky, Bruce Petway. I'm going to take
Petway was pretty damn good. Don't let that low batting average fool you.
I'm going to take Petway's the one that I'm thinking of threw Cobb out 3 times in the game. He's the one that had a
So you just
stellar arm.
took double duty Radcliffe,
I
did you?
took double duty Radcliffe,
You
yes.
bum.
And
I was hoping you wouldn't take double duty Radcliffe. Damn it.
you're they're still suggesting a pitcher for you, but tell me how you want to search.
I'm just gonna look at what you have up here. Um, I'm gonna take Walter Kennedy. I don't know why. It's just something's telling me take him.
You got it.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll take Jelly Roll Gardner.
Nice. He was named after Jelly Roll Morton, the great stride
Mm-hmm.
piano player from the 1920s.
Really want you to have another pitcher since you've only
I
got
thought
4.
I know. I thought you took Ben Taylor. Why is he still showing in the draft list? You want to make
Um,
sure you took him because I thought you did take him. Well, Forever Remain 90s keeping track for us. We're at round 24.
yeah, I've got him right here.
Okay, why is he still? He
I
should be
didn't
showing.
refresh.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
No, but I mean,
refresh. It was a rookie
okay,
move.
gotcha.
Rookie
Oh,
move. I
there we
didn't
go.
refresh.
Rookie move. Sure. All right. Eat. Damn it. Do I want another pitcher?
You need another pitcher. Let's look at the pitchers just pitching,
Said Satan to Dr. Faust.
and there they are by WHIP right here. But and I don't know if you want to see any lefties because I don't know specifically if you have any lefties.
I would. I don't know if I do.
No,
I don't
and
think
there's
I do
three
have
that
any
throw
lefties.
three lefties left right there, rated by WHIP if you want a lefty.
Let me see. Jeez. Um. Oh my God, this is. I mean, it's like it's so close. It's so close. Um. These guys aren't really big strikeout pitchers. That's the other thing I should have paid. Well, Page was a pretty fine strikeout pitcher. Um. Damn it. It's almost like I want to use a random number generator. Isn't that crazy? I'm gonna go classic ERA here, and I'm gonna go with Lenny Matlock or Leroy Matlock.
You got him. So let me pick here. Let's see, what have I got here? Got look at batting. Just look at all players.
It's gonna be an awesome game. I can just see it now. Defensive moves all over the place.
So we've got,
Oh, I see one more player I'd pick up, but I can't mention his name.
when I pick, we will have 20 players on our roster. As soon
Okay.
as I make this pick, we'll each have 20.
Okay. Is that
Um,
good? Do you think that's a good number?
yeah, I think 20 is fine, don't you?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Unless there's somebody you want. We thought about doing 22, but I think 20 may be fine, as many positions as they can play. I don't know. You let me know.
You're the boss here, man. You put this all together. So if we go to one more round, I see who I would pick. But we don't have to. 20 is fine.
I'm going to take
Oh,
Newt Allen.
Allen. All right.
So let's do one pick each. We'll have 21.
All right.
This way I'll give you one more pitch. And I've got all the players listed. Tell me what you're.
Well, I'm not taking another pitcher. I don't know why nobody picked Pete Hill, but I went Pete Hill. I went Pete Hill. I definitely like the.
You got him. And then for my last
He's
pick,
got 10 triples. Yeah.
let's
Hey,
see,
Big Clue. Big Clue says,
on
"Here we go. We're
base.
almost at the end of the draft, my friend." Welcome in, yeah, to Steve's channel. We got two pretty great teams here. I thought you took Bruce Petway. Oh, you didn't refresh because I thought you took Bruce Petway.
No, I think, who do I have? I've got Radcliffe as my backup, but
There's your
I'm
backup
going to take
catcher.
Dobie Moore, and then I think we're
Okay,
done. So I think
nice,
if we exit out, we can go take a look at the rosters now.
nice.
Um, so
This Action PC baseball rocks.
let me go right over here and merge the folder here. So we have Negro League Sandlot is the name of this. And I can go over here under rules. Let's go set our rules before we look at the roster, right? Let's do that.
Sounds good to me.
So we're going to let the batter pitcher average work out. We've got no DH, park
No
effects.
DH.
Um,
What park are we going to go in for this game? Just for the Sunday
um,
game?
I don't know. We can. I don't know. Do you want to be home team? We can.
It's on your channel. You should be
Yeah,
home team.
I'll be home. I'll pick a park, but it'll be a park that was in the major leagues from
That time.
1900 to 1940. Yeah, and then I'll
Okay.
probably just stick with, if we want to just pretend it's in 1930, I'll just use that park and the park effects for 1930 for the game. Rosters doesn't really matter because we've already limited to 25. No transact, one game injuries. That's fine, right? Because we're only going to be playing one
Yeah,
game.
theoretically.
That's all good. Usage, no penalties for usage. Miscellaneous, we'll have our stealing percentages on, all that good stuff. And info, I'm going to put them in the subfolder so I can drop player photos into that. And
We want to. Do you want in the rules? Because sometimes we want to switch to pitch mode. Do you want to put that we have that option in the game?
yes, yes, yes. Okay. Use league rules, override game preferences. Okay. We can set these. Do you want to use never if bases are empty, right? Runners on.
Right. Right.
Um, what inning? You want to pick like maybe sixth or seventh and later?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that works. Maybe
Sixth
sixth
inning and
inning.
later, right? Any score, but I'd say if it's within what, if it's a blowout,
Hmm.
but within 3 runs,
Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
perfect. Okay. And then info. Okay. I think we're good. And Negro League Baseball Sandlot's the name of it. Here we go. And then I'm going to grab the player photos and let me select them, copy, and I'm just dropping them over. So when we go look at our rosters, we can see the nice photos.
You definitely have the you definitely have the edge in terms of adding leaders and stuff. See that? You got Charleston
Nice.
as number one, two, four, five, six, seven, 8, and 9. I've only got two or yeah, two players in the top 10
That is
batting
a
leaders.
good point. So,
That's fine. I'm gonna go with what I got.
and here's the sad thing. Look at this. The game brought in all those player notes because I created a new league and covered them up. Did you
Oh,
notice that?
nice.
Because the game
I do
knows
see
that, oh,
that.
Judy
Yeah.
Johnson, Hall of Fame, right? It went and grabbed all that, which meant that it overrode all of that cool work I did. But I still have that file where I edited it. So
Cool.
maybe that's something when I'm completely done with the build. Now I know, right?
Hmm.
Um, so let's go to your nickname. We've got it up here. We'll just call you Beatles. And then for my team,
And since the Beatles actually refused, it was in Jacksonville, Florida, and they
there
were on
we
their
go.
first U.S. tour. And for a bunch of 21 and 22-year-olds, this was, and they made this decision. So we're supposed to play at a stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, and they found out that the audience would have been segregated, and they didn't even consult their manager. They just said we will not play any place that has a segregated audience. Everybody's got to be together, and that's one of the things I'm so proud that they did that. This is 1964. These four working class kids from Liverpool, right, already had this like, look, this is wrong. And so every other place that they would play through the South, they had to allow African Americans and white people to be all intermingled. And I think it's Whoopi Goldberg tells a great story because she got to see the Beatles, and it was, even in the North you would have that sort of right separation. So yay, go Beatles! They would love this league.
Nice.
McCartney's a baseball fan, so
I'm looking at my OPS. Ooh, look at the OPS I've got on this team.
yeah, you're ridiculous, man. That's
And I did
nuts.
notice something odd that we ended up, and maybe we'll fix this now and let you go get one more player. If I just scroll it by this, it looks like you've got Quincy Troop on here 2 times. And you know what that might have been?
Really? What's
Maybe
that?
when I didn't refresh it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll take this. Yeah, we need two Quincy troops. At OPS, you've
So we
got my worst
release
hitter.
him.
You know what? You know what's funny? You have more. You have stolen base wise. You have some speed on your team too. I was
Oscar
looking back at
Charleston, I
your team.
think, pretty much. But if we go down,
No, look at your stolen base totals. You're gonna be surprised.
do you
And
want
Charleston is your.
do you want to bring
Yeah, who was it that I
Bismacki on your
wanted?
team too?
Yeah, yeah. I'll take Bismacki. Can't have too many catchers. Oh wait, let me see. Um,
Well, let's see what we got here.
because I'm just looking at.
Here's your OPS. You don't have as much slugging power as my team does, right?
Oh,
But and you've got Quincy Troop
I've
there,
got.
and you got Bismacki.
As far as I mean, I've got Cool Papa Bell. I've got the fastest man in the Negro
Yeah,
League.
you've got
I mean,
Rap Dixon, and
right? Yeah, I've got some good speed on this team. I'll take it. But yeah, this isn't a power team. I wasn't trying to get a power team. So yeah, Bismacki will be fine. Definitely be fine. I've just got to manage my team is a little bit more small ball. I think it's okay. I like that anyhow. What was it the other night? Ken Castro did a double steal. He was managing his Providence team, and it was awesome. And he pulled it off and ended up scoring 2 runs. The result of pulling a double steal. It was superb. Clue says, play the game in Forbes Field. Yeah, I would. But Steve gets to pick the park. But yeah,
here's what's
Forbes Field
interesting. When we imported
is a
this in,
neutralizer to sluggers. Yeah,
I'm going to pull up my sheet here because I just noticed something that looks off here. You've got Dehigo, right? Let
right,
me pull up his fielding stats. It looks like when we create it, like you bring a player in, it didn't bring over the bios that I created, and in the game he must have hard coded. It's going to look for anybody that had actually some of those player notes, right? It's going to find the real Hall of Fame years for these players.
right,
But what I
right.
noticed is when I look at yours, I'm seeing the Higo, and I rated these guys. He's not sixes and everything. In fact, if I go over to my chart here, I can tell you what he should be. So oddly, with him, it overwrote some of that. So here's what we've got for him. I can modify and bring him back. In left field, he's a 7.
As I see, you got Pop there as a 10 as a shortstop, and that is right.
Yes, that's correct. And oh, where's Diego at?
Gonna
So
make some
left.
errors over
So
there.
he's so I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. He's a 6, 8, 7. So let's do this. An outfield. So he's going 6, 8, 7. And then he is a 7 at first, a 6 at second.
You're gonna have to do this for everybody.
No, I can tell the other ones look right. I've seen these numbers so much. I know something's off when I saw that. It just
Okay.
defaulted and gave him like everything. Short, he's a 6. Left, right, center, but boom. And then P6. Okay, everything looks good. Arm 7. Yeah, that was just odd. That's the one that like because I know there's nobody that's just blanket the same number all the way across. It just stood out to me like, how did that happen? So let's hit.
Well, I hope my pitching can hold up because you have some serious power, and your OPS is ridiculous. You have like 7 guys with an OPS rate at 1,000 or above.
Boom. Yeah,
Oof.
I'm just going to check a couple players here just to see if it came over the right way. Where's Sam
I know.
Bankhead?
And I'm again. I wanted to pick it this way. I'm gonna
He's
have to be
sevens. He's
running.
sevens, a 6 and a 6. So Bankhead, I've got
You guys are gonna
seven,
see a
six,
lot
six.
of pitch
Perfect.
outs and pickoffs because I've got to be running, get anything done with this team.
Yeah. So Team Beatles. Yeah. So you've got stolen base team. Let's take a look at your pitching staff. It's
I'm a little
you got
behind
you got really 4
pitching.
pitchers sitting there, and the Higo can roll into the bullpen if you need him to. But by whip, yeah, you've got some decent whip right there. Satchel Paige,
Yeah.
and he's a big strikeout per 9 for that
That's
league.
well,
Once you neutralize and bring him over, to be in to come over into the major leagues. Let's see what year I've got here on him. He's got to be in the 30s. Let's see. Yeah, for 1932, that's a high number of strikeouts to be converted, neutralized, and brought over to like a 1932 National League. That
and I like the
is
2.2
still
WARs
high.
too.
Yeah,
I may
that's
start
still high.
Page instead of Redding. I'm not sure. I have to think about
Oh
that.
yeah, look at that. He would be a good start. My pitchers, let's see, K's K's per nine. Yeah, I don't have anybody that high. Look, that's what you'd expect in that era. That shows you how much of a strikeout pitcher he is compared to everybody else once they get neutralized and brought over.
He was bloody dominant. I mean,
8.4
in
per
his
nine.
rookie year, his rookie year in the majors, he was still mowing them down, and he was like 40 some years old.
Yeah. So I can guarantee you,
Savage.
I'll be coming with Cyclone Joe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it looks like it's gonna be Williams and Page. I think that's gonna be fun. What's his ERA plus, Joe Williams? It's
143.
damn.
Because you got to figure so if you look at 1914, and here's why it doesn't stand out, right? In 1914, there's a lot of pitchers with sub 2 ERAs, right? So
Oh sure.
he's had his major league equivalencies and all of his stuff averaged there for those three. And then I'm bringing him over and assigning him to the 1914 National League and converting. In other words, stat heads, I take his stats and let them convert it over to 1914. And that's why you're going to see that one, he looks really good raw numbers until you bring
Right.
him over in that era and realize, yeah, not there were some really good pitchers that had low ERAs then. And the
Right.
league ERA was a little bit lower than where he came from. So, you know what's really irritating me this, and I'm going to have to solve for this is we created
What's that?
a draft league, brought players in, okay, and just brought the players in. It didn't bring all of their good stuff like their nicknames and the bios that I
Oh
brought with
right.
them, right? So I think that's where it is because if we go look at the raw file, if I go
We'll
back
see all
here,
that.
yeah, you should see it. So there had to be something when I said, hey, bring the teams in, brought the team names, bring the players. It just brings the players without the things that I edited, nickname and that, and then it starts them fresh, and then the game goes and assigns them the notes that it has built in, hard coded, probably for their Hall of
Oh
Fame year,
wow.
because that's what Action does. It uses the notes for Hall of Fame, MVP, and all that good stuff. I'm using it for my own bio. So if we
Right.
go, which one is it?
Clue here says from 1920 to 1945, exactly zero Major League Baseball players had it 8.5 Ks per nine and qualified for the RA title in a season.
I'm gonna have to
That's
read that.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's got it in a note there or in a comment. That's
Well, that
crazy.
shows you how big. I mean, with all that neutralized, I mean, Satchel Paige was a dominant strikeout pitcher. I mean, that just shows. And so let's go
You
take a
know,
look at no. So now if I go
be
back to the main folder, right, the one that we imported for the draft from, here's all my people. So the one thing that I'm gonna have to figure out when we do a draft league, we definitely want to have all this good info and make sure that
definitely.
I'll play around a little bit to make sure that when we do it, we're not just bringing in the player names and letting the game just kind of clean that out. That we'll be drafting the players that already have their nicknames and bios filled out. So
So ultimate pitching matchup once this gets into like in the milieu of Major League Baseball, I want to see Page versus Walter Johnson.
yes, and that's what something this weekend I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start taking and building a team.
Or Page versus Waddell because he was a big
Yeah,
strikeout pitcher.
I'm
Jeez.
going to build like at least one, if not two teams to be able to start playing them head to head against each other to kind of see how they stack up, right? Like having a Walter Johnson on there. Who else is big? Probably a big 30s pitcher like a Lefty Grove or a Carl Hubble, right? And
Either of those. Yeah.
yeah,
Jeez.
some good pitchers like one from the 1909 to or the 1900 to 1910 range, and then the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and have a couple
Oh
dominant
yeah.
pitchers from each, and the same thing with position players. Because if you look at
Okay.
this file, that's what I've got here. It's a good mix of. Okay, so now I know I can still say that. Let's go to the Sandlot team. Let's take a look at your team here. So when we
Gibson's going to be scary, man.
let's
You
take a
got
look at
Josh
bio.
Gibson.
So this will show you. This is why this bio is so cool right now, right? They aren't in a home
Right,
park because they've been neutralized, but this will show
right.
you on your folder what base year the player was converted to. And so you
Okay.
can kind of see that you've got players. Where's Pop Lloyd in 1920? And that's the mixture of the age they are and that year that is kind of their average of their three. And it looks like you've got a lefty on your staff, so you got Leroy Matlock. But this is just kind of a nice
Right.
view quickly to see a team. Um, and I'm forgetting to be patient because I know you're probably there's probably a little bit of a lag here.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Um, and then here's mine too. You can see I've got one, Joe Williams, a little bit earlier base year, right? He's 1914, and again, that's why uh, Jose Mendez is even a little bit earlier. That's why his ERA plus isn't as impressive once you kind of convert and get him in there.
These are two crazy, crazy strong teams.
That were built differently. So it'll be kind of
Right.
interesting to see. Now let's do this. Let's for grins and giggles. Because what I may do, Beatles, now that I know who's on our roster, I'll go back to the main file that has all the bios and just move people around so that I assemble our teams the correct way over there. You know what I mean? That way we've got all. I
Right.
don't have to refill bios and all that. But
Right.
what we can also do here is organize team managers, right?
Hmm.
So we want pitching, position, pinch hitting, player usage, create lineups, and now we could go over here and see what the default computer manager would do for your team. So when we look at depth, you can see how it's setting up your depth, your rotation. It's gonna that's what it thinks your rotation should be. Um, and then lineup, you can go through and see it's giving you some different ones for playing time here, right, to balance it out. But it's
Hmm.
telling you your number one versus a lefty. I won't throw a lefty, but saying your number one versus a righty would be um, this lineup right here. Heavy Johnson batting third.
Liking it.
And don't forget this
And
fun.
I'm not throwing a lefty either. So
And we can also do this matchup analysis now, right?
I was just going to ask you if we could do a couple of those. I know your
You
time's
bet.
limited today. But
You bet. This will be good. So, visitor. And again, if I had my team set to a park, this will even be more like if I knew what park I was going to play in, right? It would
right.
factor that for you. But now you can say batting versus who am I going to pitch? Smokey Williams, right?
Big
So,
Lou says in the major league thing he thinks Smokey Joe Williams versus Walter Johnson would be more apt. That'd be a great matchup too.
yep. And you
All
can
right.
see
So what
that
do we got?
Smokey is subduing your hitters a little
Yeah.
bit. You can kind of see.
Yeah, he is.
And if I was to pitch, who's my next guy? Let's say, who would I pitch? Rube Foster. You're going to fare a little bit better against him. So I think I go with Mendez.
A little bit better.
A little
The
bit better, right?
Yeah,
And for you, for me over
Williams is
here,
going to be a beast.
let's go against Page. Yeah, Page. Page is shutting me
Right.
down. He's taken my 376 hitting Charleston down to 27, 275.
And I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
What's he doing to Josh Gibson? He's not hurting Josh Gibson though. Damn it. See that? He's not hurting Josh Gibson too much.
Well, he's taking him from a 344 hitter down to 25. And look at this. Look at you versus me on the left here.
Right.
Your batter's K percentage against Cyclone Williams. Look at that, right? There's one guy that's at 20, 24, right?
Carr, yeah.
Look at mine against Page. Everybody's like in the 30s pretty much. Even though a
Yeah.
lot of them, their K percentage is probably half of that.
Look at
Oh, oh, oh.
Stearns. Look at that strikeout percentage of Stearns versus Page. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Stearns was a big power hitter. I mean, he was
Yeah.
swinging for the fence. He's a home run guy. Um,
Yeah.
Mule Suttles, look at that. He's going to strike out almost half the time. He's another big strikeout guy. But when you put him against a guy like Page, that was really a strikeout king. Um, yeah, it's really reflected here. That's a different kind of ball, right? So if you put in Page, my power hitters still have some power,
Oh
but
yeah.
they're gonna whiff twice as much against him.
Yeah. This is going to be a good game.
And
It's going to be fun.
is going to be look at like your walk percentage. You can get some guys on base. You got a lot less
Mhm.
strikeouts, so you're going to put the ball in play more.
Which is exactly what I want.
Yeah,
This is going to be good. I'm very happy with the team I picked. I really am.
nice.
Really am. And you picked a monster team too. These are, I
Well,
mean,
you
how
would
could you
pick
go
guys you
wrong,
want. I'm like,
right?
oh my gosh, I can get Gibson. Oh, I just took. I think our first four picks were what? You went Lloyd, I went
Right?
Charleston, and then who did you
And
pick?
then pull Papa Bell,
Then you went Cool Papa Bell, and then I went
right? Did you do Stearns?
Gibson.
He was pretty early. I don't remember
I
doing
think
him.
I did him like in the first three or four picks. Yeah. So anyway,
I
that'll
have
be
a
fun.
question for you though. So, right, so these two are like, I think what the nice thing about this is because obviously between the both of us, we've picked that we have most of the usual suspects,
Yep.
right? But now, as this goes out to 8 teams, it, it's going to be really fun because maybe your salary cap idea is a great idea. Because, right, so you look at the guys you and I picked, we're not worrying about that, so we can have, you have, like if you we look at your roster, for instance, players you have in there, right, would just ridiculously powerful, right?
Yes.
So you think the salary cap thing would be a good idea for the like the 8 team draft when we finally do it?
100% think it would be good
Because
because
somebody's going to get screwed if
yeah,
they're like number 8 in the draft order,
yes.
right?
I agree. We could look at something that still gives you flexibility to not, feel like you're having to use scrub players, right? But you know what I mean. What keep somebody
Right.
from having Gibson and Satchel Paige and Charleston and Pop Lloyd, right? So
Yeah.
very easily done. The other thing I was going to do here is I don't know if anybody's got any suggestions. Let's take a look at the matchup after I select my um, league I'm going to play in. So we're in 1930. If I modify my team now, I can select for this team what they're in. So what have I got? I mean, we could play at Fenway. We could play at the Polo Grounds. We could play at Briggs Stadium or Navin Field. Let's
Or
look at Navin
Forbes Field.
Field.
Hint, hint, hint.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah.
see.
I know. I know. I'm trying here. Come on, I'm
Let's
trying.
take a look at Forbes Field then. You're going to kill my team even worse. It's a pitcher's park. So let's say that.
It is a picture.
So,
And then compare it to Baker Bowl and
oh
watch your
gosh.
numbers go nuts
Yeah. So
in
let's
Baker
watch
Bowl.
this. So if I choose that one,
Mhm.
then we're going to have Team Beatles against,
Actually, even the Polo Grounds, even though it had that deep center field, it had short down the lines Polo Grounds. Um,
yeah.
a lot hit a hell of a lot of his home runs at home.
So you're going to go against Williams.
Right.
There we go. So at Forbes Field, yeah, it's still a pitcher's park, right? And I'm going to bat
Oh yeah.
against Page. Yeah, it's
It'd just be fun then to look at Baker Bowl
wow.
after this and see
It
the
reduced
difference
my
in
home run
numbers.
percentage. I can tell you that. These numbers are lower. My percentages
I'll,
for
I'll
home runs.
guarantee if we were doing it in my channel, I would either pick Huntington Avenue Grounds or Forbes Field. Huntington Avenue Grounds was huge. It was a big ballpark.
Okay.
It was a hitter's park as
Let's
well
do
too.
Baker Bowl, shall we?
Yeah, Baker Bowl. I mean, that's hitter's heaven there. I think one of the porches was like 295 or something, something really small.
Let's say cool. Let's see here. We've got Baker
Of
Bowl.
course, the great neutralizer for both of us, and God forbid, let's not do it, putting into one of the cookie cutters.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't want to insult these guys and put them in a cookie cutter.
You got Beatles. Home team is me. We're at the Baker Bowl, and you're going to be batting against
Williams.
Williams. Okay. I'm getting. You got a higher hit percentage against him, right? That's come about three. 230s are up to about 260s. I'm got Satchel Paige on the mound. Okay. Okay. Gibson doubled his home run percentage. If you hadn't seen that, he
Oh
was at a
yeah.
3 point something in Forbes. Now he's 6.1, even though Satchel's got him really suppressed.
No
Um,
surprise though. Baker Bowl is just. I mean, because look, you got Mule Suttles. He's moved up a bit too. Definitely a hitter's park. And I
maybe,
think my cats could hit one out of Baker Bowl.
maybe, maybe we'll. Who knows? Maybe we'll look at Baker Bowl. But I tell you, Page
It's
is
your channel. You get to pick
all
for a
right.
field, man. And don't even let me know until the day. That's I don't even want to
You
know.
bet. You bet. Okay, I'll have to take a look. But hey, no matter it works both ways. It rubs both ways, right? It's gonna Page is still the biggest suppression here, right? I can go into any park, but the way he pitches with high strikeout numbers, it eliminates
Yeah.
park effect, right? When you're a high strikeout pitcher, the park's not really changing that. I mean, he's doing a great job. Where another pitcher that lets the ball go into play more, what those park factors would be more relevant.
I'm kind of glad I took Paige now that I'm looking at your.
Yes,
Paige was
he's
hanging out there for both of us, and it's like maybe I
Page.
better take that.
You're right. He was like, you kept going, oh, like when I'd grab somebody, you're like, oh man, like you wanted them. But when you grab Page, I completely forgot about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, this ought to be fun. So now, if you don't pitch Page and you pitch
Well, okay, so my other guy be Redding. Let's look. Can we look at Cannonball Redding?
strikeouts are down. Look, everything up. Gibson goes up. Everybody's going up in their home run percentage and way down in strikeouts. Look at that. And the batting averages aren't as suppressed, right? So you got Charleston 376 going down to about 340. And then if you got Rogan, again, strikeout percentage is, a little bit more than, because I'm a power hitting team, a little bit more than you, but more in line for pitchers of that era. It's just Page was so much better at Ks per strikeouts when they weren't the league average. It's
Hmm.
he's tough.
It's tough. But the thing is, though, right? I mean, and he's tough, and baseball's largely a defensive game. You have so much power since I've got to play, and I could be overanalyzing because I'm taking a more small ball approach. It could just take a couple of your hitters, 2 home runs could be the difference. Because I can get those guys on base and move them around, but I got to get them home. And the thing
Yep.
is both of us have strong outfields. I mean, I'm be surprised to see a couple outfield assists in this game and
Yep.
like bombing them down, like gunning them out at the plate. So, but what I do like,
Ooh,
and it's this.
if I pitch Toriente, look, you get some home. He'll give up some home runs there. Did he go and Johnson? I mean, look at that. If I put Toriente as a pitcher, your home run percentages really go up.
Yeah, I bet
Double duty
they do.
Radcliffe, they're back down. See, but note to self: the Eagles gonna. If I bring him in as a reliever, it's gonna really increase the chances for some of that. But
I'm just gonna go. Page is my starter, and I don't know what. Just
I got Bill
you know,
Foster, a
I'm
lefty.
yeah. There's wow.
Rube Foster, if I pitch him. So I'm dropping a 307 hitter down to 287. So the pitcher's having an effect, even though it's in the hitter's park, right? Because these are better
Oh yeah.
pitchers. It's kind of one
Mhm.
way to look at it. So if I take a look at Smokey Joe, right, he's taking a 307 hitter and bringing him down to a 262 hitter, even though the park is probably bumping the hits up a little bit. So,
It's insane.
but this dude, Satchel is really limiting me. So if you look at it, look at this, look at the pitching matchup. So if we're in the park, look at your hit
If
percentages over
Satchel
here.
gets hurt though, I'm screwed, buddy.
If look at these, no matter who they are, look at your hit percentages: 25, 26, 27, 28, 26, and I'm 26, 27, 32, 26. You have really evened the hitting.
Mhm.
We should be pretty even in the batting average because your pitcher is making up for it. My pitcher can't suppress your hitting to the level yours can mine. How's that for framing it?
Yeah. No, that is. But
And look at the home
then
run
again,
percentage. You've got twos and threes, and look at me.
mhm,
I've got some threes, some ones and twos. Page has really shut down my home runs and increased the strikeouts. So this may be a lot closer game than one would think when you see my raw batting numbers.
if that again, but the beautiful thing about this, right, is I mean, this is assuming right both of our pitchers are on, right, and sharp.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've seen even in our and not just in our Ned McGreevy league, but when I'm playing a lot of baseball, and you think, okay, I've got Walter Johnson, for instance, I've got this in the bag, and Johnson will walk batters all over the place. Matthewson, or any of these guys. So on any given day, since we're playing one game, and that's what's going to make this so much fun. So Satch,
Yep.
old Satch, you're up there in heaven, buddy, grabbing 3 stars and throwing 3 hot strikes down heaven. I don't know if you ever read that poem.
No.
It's a great poem. It's really short. It's about Satchel Paige. So I hope you're throwing those strikes, burning down the heavens, buddy. I hope so.
I
It's
know
gonna be a good
forever.
game.
Forever is Big Clue saying Rube Waddell's the only one ever to hit 8 Ks per nine before World War II, and he did it twice. Forever Remain 90 is saying it'd be cool if you do a full tutorial about ballpark effects. I may do that because I have a whole nother project where I'm cranking out
Oh,
data,
wow.
but we can go take a peek just right here in the game if you want to take a look. So I set it to 1930 Baker Bowl. That's what we have it at now, right? So if we go up to ballparks, and I know you did a good thing showing people all the things to set up ballparks, but let's go take a look at Baker Bowl.
I didn't go into ballpark effects with
Okay.
anybody at all.
Go to Baker Bowl and you can see right here. And again, gosh, I wish this one expanded. We can see it was used 1895 to 1937, and you can see we can scroll, and you're seeing these numbers change up here year by year. If we go to 1930, what this is going to show you is anything zero is at 100 in the game right
Right,
here,
which is
meaning it's
which is
just
a neutral
average.
park.
It's neutral average,
Right.
right? So when you see left-handed batters hits in Baker Bowl right here, this 17, that means it's 17% um, increase. If you went to seam heads and looked at the data, they would reflect the data showing that as 117, 117. In action, they just assume the hundreds there, so they just show the last two digits. So playing in Baker Bowl, you'll notice triples are reduced 50% to left-handed batters, 75 for right. So if I stick with Baker Bowl 1930, this is the park data that is factoring in to that analysis we were looking at. But on top of that, it's also factoring in those hitters versus that pitcher and the year that pitcher's from, if that makes sense.
I'm looking at, well, I mean, not to see the file or anything, but I know the total baseball. One of the cool things I always liked about it, many reasons why it superseded the McMillan, is within each player's. It also you'll see that in the all-time stats source book as well, the park rating in there, whether they were players were hitting in, for how they did in hitters park, pitchers park, stuff like that. It was really cool.
MV's like, what did I miss? Only the draft for our two Sandlot teams were going to play Sunday, MV. That's what you missed. Um, so take a look at Baker Bowl. So look at this. Baker Bowl is going to increase home runs, especially to lefty hitters, right? But it's going to think about the era we're playing in. A lot of these players had 10 plus triples, right? 8 to 14 triples was the norm for players in this era and on this file. Now we go to Forbes. Let's take a look at Forbes. Forbes Field.
We're just nuts.
Let's go back to 1930. Okay, Steve.
Is this still even a hitters park in 1930 or pitchers park in 1930? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
it's a
no
pit.
hitter ever pitched there.
It's showing you it's a big park. How do we know that? Usually the big parks have triples increased and like home runs decreased, right? And you'll notice if we go to Forbes, that really shuts down by 55% left-handed, 33% right-handers. But look what would go up. Those triples would get bumped up. There'd be a lot of triples rolling around that park.
Mhm.
Now we can change year to year, right? Like, look, and here's where I get the ballpark numbers will change. So here's 29 the year before, right? You're seeing the same trend. The same numbers are usually positive or negative, right? Meaning less home runs, more triples, but they
Right.
change yearly. And this is where the 3-year rolling average, using some regression, they feel the people that look into this and seam heads, it's a better, it smooths out some of the crazy yearly effects because we know there should be no reason that there's 30% more than this year for lefties or righties, right? Sometimes it's just who played and who came in. And sometimes maybe they erected a big fence, but barring those, it's a lot more accurate, my opinion and others, to smooth that out and have the ballpark effects be a rolling 3-year average. That's going to be time consuming. I've started the work to do, but hey, but this kind of gives you an idea. Look at Forbes. Every year you look at them, triples are higher than average.
Hmm.
Home runs are always negative, right?
Oh yeah.
Look at that. So it's just a matter if we put them in 1930, there they are. Now we could play it in
Hmm.
1925.
So MV,
Very similar, very similar.
I purposely drafted for speed and small ball. Steve went a little bit more power. Just answering a comment in there by MV.
And Beetle,
He
we're going
may
to
have
show.
outdrafted me, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, but what's funny is if he pitches Page, if you look
Oh
at the
yeah.
matchup analysis, it looks pretty dang even. If he's
And my
pitching
not so
Page,
secret weapon.
yeah, if he's pitching Satchel Page, he's the great equalizer. Now, if he pitches somebody that doesn't, again, you think this, he's striking out so many, that's less chance for balls to be put into play and get hit out of the park, and for average, right? So it makes sense. I mean, he's almost, let's say he's probably 80% over the league average when it comes to strikeouts.
Yeah, Page didn't go till late in the draft, guys. That's the neither of us were picking
Oh
Josh
yeah, I'm
Page. He
like
was
in the
just
middle
right there.
sometime. I completely forgot about it. But here's his team. We'll sort it by
Gotta show him
at
yours
bats
too,
here.
man.
But
Gotta show him yours.
OPS, right? Kind of
Let me
he's
see
got.
Steve's OPS, man.
Yeah, I've got the whole starting team. I think has a high OPS, but I definitely went for power, not speed. But I got
Yes.
some speed.
Yes, you did. Yeah. I think Steve
There's
took
my
Bingo
OPS.
DeMoss, MV. I think.
I've got
Did
Bingo
you take him?
DeMoss. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Steve
he,
took him.
yeah, but his OPS is so weak. Now, if I go to second base and click on range, now he shows up.
So you've got with Josh Gibson and Oscar Charleston is a beast on your team. I mean, look at his speed and power.
Well,
I
he's
love
like they say, he's
Charleston.
very
I
Cobbish, but then you mix in some other players. Like I'm sitting here thinking,
playmaking,
for his
playmaking.
era to have 30 home runs on a card that has basically already been converted to 19, so he's
And
been
34
converted to
steals.
1923 National League. So all of these numbers reflect him being major league equivalent over to 1923. That's a great amount of home runs, right? Um,
Yeah,
that's a lot of power.
that's a scary lineup. So he would have. So by the major league equivalencies, he would have. Wasn't was it Ken Seiko that was the first 30-30 player in
You
the
know who I would
majors?
equate this line to, but he's a better
Who's that?
fielder? Hornsby. Hornsby in the 20s put up some of those years where what
Oh
he
yeah,
batted
speed and
400 and
power.
had 30 to 40 home runs, right? That's Charleston has that, but better field
Yeah.
and faster. So
Well, I don't know, Big Clue. I'm asking. Big Clue. So Ken Williams was the first 30-30. Okay. Thank you, Big Clue. Ken Williams of the St. Louis Browns.
yeah,
Thank you, Big Clue. Wasn't Canseco who's the first something? Was it 40-40 then? Something? I know there
yeah,
was something that Canseco was first in besides getting. I know he wasn't first getting hit on the head. That goes to Babe Herman.
yeah.
Local
Canseco
ties.
40-40, but no, Ken Williams back in the day that was, and that's a good team with Tobin and Ken Williams and Sisler. I know you've talked about that 20s
Love
Brown
the
team.
22 Browns. Oh yeah,
Um,
I love those early
uh,
Browns teams.
they're just I think the whole start you could put a starting lineup on my 5-year slice at all bats over 300, and there's some good slugging percentage there too. But anyway, yeah,
Yeah. So
Charleston
he's
is just, this is a guy, this is why he's my first pick. I'm like, you put him out there in the field. I mean, you got a Gold
yeah.
Glove guy in center that has a batting average that is probably just under Cobb, but with tons more power, right? Cobb's going to
Yeah.
steal more, but he doesn't have the power Charleston does.
No, no,
He's
no.
going to
I mean
steal more
Charleston,
often, but
and you're gonna. I mean, you're gonna be batting Charleston and Gibson so close in your lineup.
well, let's take a look at what the we ran computer managers. Let's take a look at what my lineup will
Thanks for
be.
correcting me, guys. So yeah, it was the 40-40 was Canseco. So thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I don't pay too much attention to Jose Canseco. So
So we're pitching right what this is who would start and what the default manager would do. Oh my God, he's putting Jose Mendez in right field. This guy's crazy. I like
yeah,
Judd Wilson playing third though, because he's a big hitter. He's got at short Allen, and I've got Willie Wells. Right. I
I
wonder why
I
he's starting.
I'd go with Willie Wells, but
Yeah, I won't be taking his advice on this, but I think there's a couple others because it'll change a little bit. Now he's got DeMoss because what it's trying to do is kind of balance out through the five lineups usage because I
yeah. Now you
selected
got
that.
Wells batting fifth, and now you got him clean up on that one.
Yeah, they leave Wells out of that one. I kind of like this one. Oh,
You
he's
gotta
got
have
Jelly
you
Roll
gotta have Josh.
Gardner.
You gotta have Josh Gibson to clean up. On this one,
Yeah,
Charleston's not even in versus
that's the
righties.
guy's crazy. What he's trying to do is because I hit. Remember how you in your league and Ned McGreevy, you worry about
Mm-hmm.
usage. I hit when I did
Mm-hmm.
the default manager, create
Uh-huh.
usage. So it's looking at all of these full time at bats these people have and trying to figure out how to balance it.
Okay.
And that's something that happens when you go over here to organize and you say, hey, I want to generate a default team manager.
Mm-hmm.
I select player usage preferences. So let me
Okay.
undo that, right? And then,
Should see a difference in how it's gonna do lineups, right?
yep. And then I can go back over here, go in there and take a look at there's Wells in Charleston, right? So it's going to change it a little bit. So what you should see is not as much, maybe not as much variation
Right.
trying to equal out playing time with the five lineups that it's going to rotate through. And then you can always go
Look
into
at
the
look
manager.
at your 3, 4, 5 hitters there. Oh, and the last one you did. Shit. What was it? It was no, it wasn't that one. Damn it! It was really scary looking for 3, 4, and 5, and with this lag.
Well, let me tell you what that is. Charleston, Gibson, and Suttles 3-4-5 is great.
That's there. That's the one I'm talking about. That's really scary. That's really scary. Those three guys. Yikes!
But
Imagine you
again,
watching from heaven, man.
again, when we go into the matchup analysis and you're on the road, and this is me at Baker Bowl, even trying to get the best
Yeah, but if
use.
we were playing a 3 game series, buddy, I can't have Satch starting all 3 games. So I know we're just doing a one-off, but
Yeah,
Satch is
take a look
good
at this.
maybe for one game, but
You're shutting them down. I mean, my
with
hit
Satch,
percentage up
yeah,
and down looks much closer to yours. I mean, you might just be one or two just below me because of him. We changed him.
right.
That's different.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Here comes now my hitting starts coming up and my home runs come up if you pitch cannonball Redding. But hey, the
Right.
strikeouts are just so devastating because of his strikeouts per nine. They're just nuts. But this is fun because this lets me see some of this testing will be fun as I go through and create this bigger project. This will be at little points along the way doing this. Then the next thing will be mixing in a team like an all-star team from 1900 to 1940 of like having a Walter Johnson and a Carl Hubble. Um,
My God,
you know what I mean? And then playing them against each other and kind of seeing how that plays out. That's going to be fun.
that's gonna be
But
great.
this
You know
tells
what
me
I?
it should really be a good, maybe I've got a little bit more on the doubles. Um, and look at our triples, how suppressed the triple numbers are in the Baker Bowl.
Hmm.
We go to Forbes, the triples, boom, they jump up.
Right. You know what I wish that
Is Forever
he's like
calling me out?
Steve. You should talk Beatles into a best of 5 series if you want to have a chance. Oh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I think somebody was on my side.
Damn.
Who do we have? I think MV. You just is. I'm a favorite of MV's because I have Bingo DeMoss. I think that's just it. He doesn't even
Oh, I
care
know,
about
I
the
know.
rest of the roster.
He came on and he said, "Beatles, you didn't get Bingo Demas because I know it's one of his favorite players."
Yeah.
So, no, the main games are not coming up soon. MV.
No.
All we're doing here is this is like a Sandlot thing, like Steve, gave it that moniker. We're like just two team captains playing some
So
Sandlot ball and picking players for a one-off on Sunday,
let's
just to
look at
test the
all
file.
players, and this is all that I've created. So this is probably a good way to show off the database. But I have, if you look down here, um,
At the time, dude, I know you don't have a lot of time, so I'm good, but I know you have a limited time today, buddy.
so I'm including free agents because there's some players here we didn't pick, but these are all 55 people I've created so far, and you can list them. We can list them by average, whatever category.
No,
But
no Negro League game tonight, MV.
no, yeah, we're going to
That's
do this Sunday.
Sunday, 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 Sunday.
This has just been kind of fun to talk through the approach, and
I can't believe the work you've done here. This is incredible. Just incredible. What, you have 200 more players to do, right, for a team league? Is my math
yeah.
right? Yeah, it's gonna be
But hey,
250
what's
players.
what's it been, a week and a half, 2 weeks? I've been able to crank out 55. That's pretty good progress.
That's like insane progress, man. It really is. Wow.
And they are taking a lot more than my regular files because of the research with these, and they play so many positions. And I'm the process of having to convert, use MLEs, and then go to stat heads and figure out what year there is the middle of or the average of the three I'm going to use, and then have everything converted over to that National League line. And yeah, it's a little time, very time consuming. I shouldn't say a little. It's
It's
very time
still
consuming.
it's still showing Quincy Troop on my team twice.
It is.
Is that? You see that?
It is.
It's weird.
That's some odd thing too.
Hmm.
Um,
We like it, Quincy, but
but
I know
what
I
I'm
have two
but what I'm going to
sandwiches.
do now that I know who should be on whose teams, I'll go back to the main file that has the bios and reassemble those so that when we play, we've got those bios that are there
Who was
for
it? It was
us.
Ben Taylor that we kept, right?
Oh
You
my
kept
gosh.
suggesting Ben, but you finally got him. Watch Ben. I'm telling you, Ben
Yeah.
Taylor's going to do something
So
amazing on
take a look
Sunday.
at, but you look at Ben Taylor. Look, he's a 343 hitter. Um, not a lot of home runs. He got 6 home runs, but and when his fielding, he's a nine. I think Ben Taylor is the guy that taught Buck Leonard to play first base. And the reason I know
Sunday
that is I wrote
afternoon.
it down here. Taught Josh Leonard to play first base.
Oh wow,
He's known as he's a nine at first base, a great defensive first baseman
Todd Buck Leonard. Wow.
that hit over 340. So
Go back,
um,
Lou Gehrig. Whoever remained 90s asking evening or afternoon. I'm thinking afternoon. I mean, he's Germany and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
afternoon. Does
afternoon.
that sound good to you, Steve?
That's perfect. Yeah,
I'm just looking at my stupid work schedule, and I think afternoon's going to work better for me too. Oh no, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think we shoot in the afternoon so MV and whoever remain 90 can be here.
you bet. And you can
Just for
see on
fun.
this file that I can rearrange them. We'll have, and I think it'll be fun that we can look at the little bios that I put in. And if you haven't done so, I put it in the chat yesterday. I'll share this site that I came across because I thought, man, I'm going to go buy this book that maybe tell me a little bit more about biographies because I can use baseball reference bullpen and Wikipedia, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
I thought I stumbled across this as I was researching other
Oh,
things.
I
So
saw the site. Yes, I did. I did. I think you put it in my chat
it's
last
the
night.
Negro,
Remember
it's the
about ancient
electronic.
heresies?
Yes, it's
Yes,
the electronic museum.
brilliant. Yeah. So any of you that missed the ancient heresies talk last night did get this link. Steve still doesn't have. Steve's ancient heresy has been going into the Your League files, so there we go.
Yeah,
Should create a league sometime named after all the great heresies. Just make a draft league from all baseball history. Now batting for the Toledo Pelagians. It'd be really fun, Steve. I don't know how. I don't think we could. I don't know how we could coordinate it. Wouldn't it be great to get Christopher Slovic to announce the game? Wouldn't
oh,
that be
I
brilliant?
I would love that.
Oh my God.
I would love that. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah.
I don't know how we'd reach out to him because he's rarely in the Discord or anything. He's in
Um,
Pakistan, so
yeah, so I'll have things set up. You can see I've still got it's got the default fastball and all that. I've been compiling a list, and the cool thing about gosh, if I could find the name of that, does anybody remember the name of it? I dropped it in the chat last night.
of that link of that site, is
Yes,
that what you're talking about, Steve?
yes.
I've got it bookmarked, so if you give me a second.
Tell me what that site is. I thought I had it saved on this browser,
Yeah.
but I
So
may
how about
not.
you know what? I'll just put the link in the chat.
Do it.
Right? I just found it. The boom, the bing. All right. So guys, here it comes. There you go. This is a great, great website Steve found. So give it a click and bookmark that puppy.
Oh, got it.
So for you, I don't think it's gonna.
No,
See,
but I'll
because
pull
for
it
me,
up.
I can go right to it. Yeah, and it's great. And it's talking about like teams from like even back going back to the 19th century. Which if Ken Castro was here, he'd be all on it like
Okay,
brown on rice.
so it's the Electronic Museum. Now you can go in here. This is a great site, nlbemuseum.com. You've got teacher resources, right? And this is you got lesson plans, field trip guides, really cool stuff here. But the research library is what I like here, and you can look at some of the filmographies and that photo archive that they have. So if you go into just some really good recommendations on that.
How did you
Um,
find this site?
oh,
I
it's
mean,
I've just been digging deep and searching and searching and searching and doing stuff. But under history, right? You've got some of the players, but you go under history. See over here where it says team profiles and hit personal profiles. I go to personal profiles, and then give me a name, somebody you're interested in, right? Bell, right? Cool Papa.
that's
So
good. Cuckoo Papa.
here we go. Cool Papa Bell. So you can go and look at Wikipedia and some of the others, but check this out. Come right over here to Cool Papa Bell, fastest man to ever play baseball. So they've just got great information here about him, and this is perfect for me to come and get a couple sentences that I can drop into that note section, and that's what I'm doing. So this has been a great resource, and out of that, there's a lot of information on him. I think he's over on this other team here. These aren't our
What a
teams per
cool
se.
nickname too, huh?
Yeah,
Cool
and that's
Papa.
what
I
I've
like
got.
it.
One of the fastest men to ever play the game, famous for legendary tales about his speed. Right? Um, yeah, cool stuff. But the one I like is where's the guy? Where is it? Heavy. He's over on this other team here.
Heavy Johnson.
Heavy Johnson. I love this one. Uh,
You have
Heavy
Heavy Johnson.
player with a heavy bat was an
Yep.
unpolished fielder that relied on his slugging. And I keep seeing that typo that shows up that I keep thinking that I
Welcome in,
fixed.
World's Worst Gamer.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to run, but this has been great.
All right,
So
man.
stay tuned. Sunday afternoon, we'll figure out a time, let everybody know. And we will have those two teams that we showed earlier that we drafted, and we'll do a sandlot. And yeah, I know we'll see how we feel. Maybe we play them again. Maybe there's a grudge match. Who knows what
Sure.
could happen? Who knows
I'm
what
all
could
about
happen?
the grudge. I'm all
And then
about the grudge.
what might be nice along the way is then I go from 55 to 100, or then 120. Maybe there's three or four of us that get together and do another little fun draft one day like this, and a couple teams. So there could be some fun little projects to test this file along the way before we get to a final draft league file, if that makes sense.
It's gonna be brilliant.
Fun stuff. So
Yes. Thank you so much.
Beatles, thanks for joining me and doing this, and thanks
Bet.
everybody. And if you want to see a draft and kind of either agree or disagree with either of us on our picks, which I'm sure there'll be a lot of, feel free to watch this back from the beginning, because we captured the entire draft on this video. So have a good day, everyone.